Okay, so we'll wait a few minutes to see if any participants join before we start. Okay, so we can start, and if someone joins the session, they will also receive the recording, so that's fine. Okay, so good morning, Luz. I hope you're okay. Okay. We are going to have our webinar today for ManageBac 101, where we are going to dive into navigating your classroom and supporting your students as a teacher. My name is Lydia, and I am a customer support specialist at ManageBac, and I'm going to be walking you through the platform today. My colleague Luz will be monitoring the chat and Q&A for any questions that come up.
Good morning.
And then as a reminder that you are muted during the session today. So while you can hear me, I am unable to hear you. You can add your comments in the chat if you have any questions, please place them into the Q&A section and we'll be answering them there. Okay. So today's agenda, what is ManageBac for? A live walkthrough, questions, and additional resources. What might your school use ManageBac for? ManageBac is a learning management system designed to assist with all aspects of your curriculum, lesson planning, assessment, and reporting in one flexible and intuitive system. It was launched back in 2006, founded at the University of Pennsylvania by 3 Ivy diploma graduates who were looking for a better solution for managing their CAS projects. Starting off as a CAS management system, it has grown over the years to become the trusted choice of thousands of school leaders, educators, and students around the world for not only the IB, but programs like Cambridge, Pearson, edXL, and national curriculums. ManageBac can serve as the single tool for managing all that takes place in your school, or it can be used as a central hub for collating and unifying data across multiple systems. As you can see, there are 3 main areas that ManageBac helps schools with. We have the curriculum building, which includes your unit planning, assessment, unit planning and analytics, and we house about 600 sets of standards in our repository. Learning and teaching, which covers your day-to-day classroom management, deadlines, any projects, and students' portfolios of work. And then assessment and reporting, which encompasses the online assessment, attendance, and report cards. As you can see in the chart, ManageBac allows your school to do many different things, and it is customizable for each school. Some of these models are added on and might not be visible in your account right now. Perhaps there are some of you who haven't seen ManageBac before. or maybe you have used it at some capacity in the past and you're looking to find out more about how you can use the system to its fullest potential. Whatever the case, today we're going to be running through a general introduction to the system, from accessing for the first time to creating classroom management elements and communicating with students. All right, let's take a look at what these items actually look like on ManageBac. I'm going to be showing our account. Just a second. Okay. This screen is what you first see when you access your ManageBac account. I'm now logged in as a teacher called Risa Ioki, who is a teacher at Faria International School. You can access your profile information by accessing the top right corner, and then just clicking on your avatar or your picture. And here you would access the profile via clicking ManageBac, manage your profile. In here, you can see all your account or profile information, and you can edit the profile as well as the professional details, as you can see, to add or modify any information. You can also configure your notification preferences, which you can see in the tab here, which you can also access from the top right corner and access the notification preferences from here. Here is a good place for you to decide what type of notifications you will be receiving: web notifications, emails, and mobile notifications if you have the ManageBac app installed on your device. You can also see time zone as well as your classes and groups. There is also the personalization tab, which you can also access from the profile top right corner. And this allows you to set your landing page if you want to have a different first access page when you access your account, if you want to have a different page as default, as well as decide on a theme or color that you prefer to have for your account. And then if you want to go back to the landing page at some point, you can just click on your school name or the logo on the top left corner. It will take you back to your landing page. This homepage or landing page can be customized as well. If you click on your home customization button on the right side, and this will allow you to configure what you want to see on your landing page. Okay, as you can see, you can edit the widgets that will appear at the top, as well as enable or disable the different sections on this page. And you can also set a wallpaper as a background image for your account. If we have a look at the top bar that you have on the account, you can see the search box, which will allow you to search for different types of items on ManageBac: students, subjects, classes, year groups, different elements that you can search and access directly from here. You do have the quick add button that will allow you to start or create different elements on ManageBac, unit planners, assessments, add resources from here. You can also access your notifications, just clicking on the bell icon, and this will show you the number of notifications that you haven't read. Just looking at this number here, and you can mark all as read. You can star to set them as favorites and show them at the top your specific notifications, but you will see them all here. And you can access your page, your notifications page, clicking on at the bottom of the list will take you to the full list of notifications. You will have the notifications here for 3 months, as you can see, and they will be automatically removed afterwards. Okay. If we continue, you do have the chat icon as well, which will allow you to send messages to students or parents directly from here. And you can start the chat and search for the students and parents that you want to talk to. And this will be a one-to-one message. Okay. You are also able to link your accounts to be able to access them from your ManageBac account. If you have multiple accounts as a parent and teacher account, you can link them using the accounts portal, as well as any other services can be accessed from here as well. If we go into the next icon here, you have the help section where you can access at what's new in ManageBac, as you can see here, as well as guides for support, download the app, and other types of support elements that you can access from here. Okay. So these are the sections you have on the main screen. If we go back to the home landing page, and then we can open here the left menu. This menu is going to be here always, and you can access to it from any screen. And here you can access all your main pages that you will be working with. Okay. We are going to access the classes since today we'll be viewing the class management. And as you can see, when we click on the classes section, you will see a list of up to 10 classes, which are assigned to you. And you can access them directly from this link of the class, but you can also go into browse all classes at the bottom. And here you will see the list of classes that are assigned to you, right? It will take you to My Classes page by default. And this will give you an overview of all your classes. You also have the page, the Browse All Classes page, where you can access or search for other classes that are not assigned to you at any point. Okay. On this page, just to give you a bit of information, you can see the summary information of each of the classes, class ID, levels, any teachers assigned to the class, number of students, number of units that are created or linked to that class, number of tasks, updates, and you can also access your gradebook and attendance for that class. Okay, on the right button, you also have the settings and pin button here, which I will show you shortly. So yeah, and on this page as well, as you can see, you have the button to add class on the right panel, as well as in the middle of the screen. And when you add a class, you will see the form that has to be completed with the basic information for the class. You will select the program that will be linked to that class, the grade, subject, as well as language level in language subjects, and any levels that are configured for that class, for that subject. You can select your language of instruction, add a class name if you want to have a specific name, otherwise it will show the subject. Okay, it will appear as a class name. Then you can add a section and a class ID. These, as you can see, are not mandatory fields, but can be added if needed. Then you'll be automatically assigned as a teacher to the class when you're creating it, but you can also add other teachers here. You can add a description, and lastly, you would add the link academic terms, the start term and the end term. Okay, this is important as this cannot be modified afterwards, but yeah, you will set this here. And then once you're ready, you can add the class. In this case, I'm not going to add it, and we'll just access one of the already created classes that has all the preloaded information. So if we access the DPA in language and literature class, This is the overview page of the class that you will see. And in here, you have any announcements that are linked to this class by default will appear at the top. Then you have the calendar for the next weeks for you to be aware of what is happening in this class in the next 2 weeks. Okay, and you can access any elements here. You do have the current unit that is being viewed in the class based on the date that is set for that unit. Upcoming tasks and deadlines that you may have, you will see them here. And at the bottom, you will see the latest activity for this class. Okay. If we look at the right panel, you also have the quick add, edit class settings. You can leave class and unpin from main menu. In this case, that's what I was going to mention. On the left menu, you can pin classes to have them always here, but you can also unpin them as necessary if you don't want to have them in your list. For example, if you have many classes assigned to you, you can just select some of them, or when you are no longer teaching a class, you can unpin it and it will not appear here. Okay, there is where you would pin your classes. And then you can see here description, subject group, subject, as well as class ID and start and end term. Okay, you have the main information of your class in the right panel. And then if we go into the tasks and units page, here's where you can manage your tasks and units. You will see the upcoming tasks at the top and units at the bottom that are linked to this class. Okay. To work on your assessments, we can add a task. And then you will see the form the same way as when creating a class. You will see the information that you will need to add to your task. Okay. You will add your title, due date, and time for this assessment. You can link the task to a unit if needed, if you want this assessment to be linked to a specific unit. If not, you can link it later or just have it for the class without any unit linked. However, when you link a unit, you will see that you have the section to link to specific lesson experiences if you want to have this assessment included in a lesson experience within a unit. Then you would select your category. This applies to DP in this case, because in diploma, the categories are required. However, in some other programs, it may not be required. And you do have your levels, type of assessment, summative or formative. You can add a description. And by default, the task will be applied or assigned to all students in this class. However, you can differentiate the students that you want to assign this task to and select some of them if it's not required for all students to complete. Okay, this can be done here. Then you would select your assessment options, which are points, comments, criteria, or binary. And you can also enable students to submit their coursework by selecting this option, allow them to upload files from Google Docs if that's an option enabled in the school. You can also create discussion tasks to allow students to add their comments and discussions into the task. You can also enable alternative feedback studio to generate a similarity index for the work that the student has submitted. And also there is the option to have an AssessPrep online assessment linked to this task if the school is using AssessPrep. Okay. And then lastly, you have the option to save the task as a draft. If you don't want it to be visible to students and parents right away, you can select this option to just hide it from their visibility, and you will still see it as a teacher. But if you want to keep it for later or just work on it, you can save it as a draft and then remove the draft to make it visible to students. And lastly, you can notify the students and teachers via email that this task has been created or has been updated. Okay, this will be down here. So that would be the information that you would need to complete for your tasks. And in here, once you create it, you will see the full list of tasks that you have for this class. If we go back into the tasks and units page, just to let you know that so the tasks are going to be linked to the subject and grade level for this class, and you can reuse your tasks year after year if you want to, and you can import the tasks for that purpose, which will allow you to reuse the tasks, and you can select tasks from any grades of this program, as well as levels, types, categories, filter by teacher, and you can add those tasks to your class if, as I said, if you want to reuse them for your current class, so you don't have to create them again and again. Okay, this can be done here. That would be it for tasks. If you if we move into the unit section, you will see here a list of any units that are linked to this subject and grade level. Again, these the units are linked to the subject and grade level and are rolled over with the classes year after year. So you can reuse them and you don't have to create them again every year. And they will appear automatically once you create your classes. In here, you can see by default, all the units that are in active status, which will be the ones that the students will see, the students and the parents, but you can at any point look at or find any archived or draft units that you don't currently have visible to students and parents by clicking on the show draft and archived units and filter. Okay, and then you will see all the units that are linked to this subject and grade level, okay, in any status. In here, we have the list view by default, but you can also look at the weekly view to see what units are going on right now, as well as a calendar view to help you have a better idea of how the units are planned for the academic year and see if there are any gaps or anything that may need changing. Okay. When you have the list of units, you can access the summary information of the unit, as well as add different elements to the unit and generate a PDF planner from here. And as I was mentioning, the status of the unit, so you can also change the status just by clicking on the total button on the right side. Okay, in order to add a unit, you would find the Add Unit button on the top right panel. And if we access this page, you will see the form with information that you will need to complete in order to add your unit. Okay. You can add a cover yourself from your device or select one of the available ones that we have on ManageBac. You will see that the template will be automatically assigned if there is only one template configured by the school. However, if you have multiple templates, you will be able to select from the dropdown. Then you would add your title. The subject will be automatically selected for the unit based on the subject that is linked to the class. The same as with the grade. Okay, will be the one of the class where you're creating the unit. However, you can also share this unit with other grades of this program. Okay. You would then select the levels that are configured, as well as the month, week, and duration that you want to configure for this unit. Okay. You can also add hours, as you can see here, as well as course part if you want to have more information of this unit or different sections. You can add it here, and then you would add a description. And lastly, as additional options, you are able, same as with the tasks, to save this unit as a draft if you don't want it to be automatically visible to the students and parents. Okay, while this is selected, the unit will only be visible to teachers and admins. While you work on it, you can keep it as a draft and then select it to make it visible to parents and students. Then once the unit is created, in this case, we'll access one of the units so you can see the information you'll have there. And it will take you automatically when you access the unit to the planner section where you will see all the planning information for you to configure your unit. Okay. You do have your at a glance section or page within the unit that is showing the information which will be visible to students and parents when they access the unit. But your main planning will be done in the planner section. You can see there are different subsections within the unit planner, which are being configured by the school for you to work on. And you will see that there will be green text for, to let you know that those sections have been edited and information has been added. And you will see the white checks are the ones that have yet to be configured for this unit. Okay. The units come with preloaded IB content that we have added to ManageBac for you to be able to use it, so you don't have to add all information based on IB requirements, but you are able to add other content as well. Okay. And also the units help collaboration between teachers. As you can see on the right panel, there are multiple, or there can be multiple teachers working on the same unit. And as I was mentioning, the units are preloaded and are automatically loaded into the classes of the same subject and grade level year after year to help you keep the content as needed for your classes and not having to build them again every year. But again, these units based on subject and grade will appear in all classes that are linked to that subject and grade, which means that any teachers who are teaching one of those classes will have the same units. They are able to hide them as a draft, as I was mentioning earlier, if they don't want to use them, but you will have all the units preloaded as soon as you create the class, okay, in order to help collaboration, so you can work with other teachers. And it will also allow you to add reflections and add notes to the units to help planning for the future as well as to discuss with other teachers how you want to plan your units. Okay. In this case, so you are also able to add resources into your unit. You can add further planning in this unit to help you assess and have an order for the information that you want to share with the students. Okay, you have the different options that you can add to your unit in the human resources, and this will also be linked to the unit year after year. You will find it in the unit, and you can also import other resources into your unit. Okay. Lastly, you have the assessment section where you will see any tasks that have been linked to this unit. Okay. In here as well, you can add further resources for the class, but you're also able to export the unit as PDF. Again, you have the option to set the status of the unit as active or draft. And you can also see who has last updated this unit. You have this information on the right panel. Okay. So if we move on from the tasks and units, let's go into the gradebook, which will allow you to assess and keep to review the progress of the students by term. So if we go into gradebook, it's a place where you can assess your tasks and term grades. As you can see, there are the two sections here. In the tasks page, you have all the tasks that have been created for a particular term, which you can change and review the tasks for each of the terms. You are able to add the tasks directly from this page, and you're also able to grade the tasks for all the students on one page. Okay. You're also able to see here the progress by student for the tasks that they have been assigned and have been graded. So you have a good overview of what progress they have during this term. Okay. You can also see the task categories that have been configured for this class, as well as the overall the marks for each of the categories. You have this information on the right side. If we go into the term grades, you will see here how you can grade your students' term grades by term again. Okay. On this page, you will see all the fields that have been configured by the school for this class or for this subject for you to grade. The final grade will be you will have a calculated average as a term grade based on the task grades that have been assigned to that student, okay? And based on the term grade scale that you can see on the right panel, you will see all the information of everything that is configured for the term grade calculation on the right panel. And then you have this automatically calculated, as I said, but you can change the grade as needed based on the work completed by the student, okay? And you will add your grades to any fields as well as comments. Again, as the same as in the tasks page, you will see the progress of the student, showing any tasks for the academic year or current term that have been graded for that student, okay? You also have the option to assess standards. And just to mention this, you will find the Manage Standards Assessment on the right panel. And this will allow you to enable it for the class if you want to assess specific standards. You can add the rubric and the number of standards or the type of standards that you want to assess, okay? You will see some here if it has been added, but you can also add other standards that are configured in your school, okay? And you can add them to your class and then assess them there as needed, okay? If we go into the next section of the class, attendance, in here you can mark attendance for the students for each of the days that are configured for this class to mark attendance. You can mark them all as present, for example, or same status, or you can do it individually. And this will be done on a daily basis as configured for this class, okay? You can see the status or the category, the attendance category that has been marked for that day for the students in the homeroom attendance, just for reference. And you will see also any attendance excusals that have been sent by the parents or any other comments that have been added by the homeroom teacher will appear also next to the status, the category here, okay? But you're also able to add a comment, as you can see here, if anything else is needed. Just to point out, you would need to configure your attendance if it has not been done in bulk for all classes, and you can do that accessing the attendance settings of the class. In here, you can configure your timetable for and the periods where you want to mark attendance for this class. Okay, just by selecting the times when you want to have this class mark in attendance, as well as the room or location where you want to have the students go to this class. Okay, and you will see the timetable, the day of the week, as well as the lesson for this class in here. Okay. So this is how you would work with your class attendance. Then if we go into this discussions section of the class, here is where you can communicate with students and parents. And specifically for the class, any communications linked to this class, you can create them here and they will receive them and they will be able to access them. Okay. When you create a discussion, you will see there's a topic, a title for you to enter. You can select a category as needed, and you can enter the information as a body. You can add different types of files and elements to this discussion for the students and parents to be able to access. And also you have the options to notify the members via email, which will send an email notification to students and teachers of the class. But you can also separately notify parents if you want them to be aware of this class communication. Okay. There's also a private discussion option if you want to just keep this communication for teachers only. Okay. But yeah, this is a good place for any communications linked to this specific class. Then you do have your calendar for the class where you can see everything that is planned for this class in by month. As you can see here, you can add in the calendar directly events, deadlines, and online lessons. And anything that is that has been created, any events, tasks that have been created for this class will appear on this page. Students have also access to this calendar, students and parents. Okay. And you do have the option to sync your ManageBac calendar to external calendars, Google, Apple calendars, so you can see that these your events or your any elements from the calendar, you can see them on your external calendar. You're able to do that by subscribing to the calendar. Then next we have the file section of the class. And in here you can add any files, as for the name says, that you want to for the students to have access to while taking this class. Okay, you can create separate folders to organize your files, your elements, and the students will have access to them. When you upload a file, also you can select a category or a specific folder. You can add multiple files at the same time, and you can also notify the students and teachers about the addition of a file. Okay. Also to keep in mind, you are able to add files from other classes or from other years by going to add resources. You will see any files that are linked to this subject. You will see them appear here and you can add them as well. Okay, you can access the resources from other classes into this file section. Lastly, we do have the members section of the class where you can see any students who are members of the class, as well as set their levels for the language subjects or for any subjects with levels assigned. And you can see last joined, joined at date, as well as last access. And you can access their portfolio, CAS, extended essay, the different elements that are linked to this student from here as well. You can also add your students to the class by clicking on Add Students, and you will be able to add them to your class as well. There is also the teachers section where you can see what teachers are added to this class, as well as add new teachers and show on reports if you want to have the name of a specific teacher only or multiple teachers appear on the reports linked to this class. Okay, this can be done here as well. Also to mention, You do have your reference guides that you will see in most of the pages when you're navigating a specific section of ManageBac. You will see your reference guides that you can access on the right panel, and this will be helping you navigate this specific page. Okay, we do have the guides for most pages found on the right panel. Lastly, about the class, I said earlier that you had your one-to-one chat here accessible at the top right. You are also able to open class chat, which will allow you to communicate with the students of the class, and you can start the chat for a specific class and then send notes or any communication to all the students in this class, as well as send resources from here, okay? And they will be able to see it if you want to have a more direct communication with the students and have them answer or send any questions from here, okay? Okay, so this is the main information you have for your classes. And this is really everything I wanted to show about the class. I'm going to stop the live demo at this point, and we can see the rest of the slides. Just a second. Okay. Okay. Anyone has any questions? Luke, do you have any questions? I don't hear you, sorry.
Now I can. I think you can hear me.
I can.
Everything is very clear. You walked us through the main characteristics and features of ManageBac in the DP program. Probably to point out that the presentation was around DP, and probably other programs in the IB and non-IB will be slightly different, but the main tasks that you explained are going to look pretty much the same as you showed us. But yes, everything is very clear, very, very well said. Thank you.
I'm glad. Thank you for your feedback. Okay. So in this case, just to wrap up, I just wanted to show a few additional resources that you have available to see more information on or other topics even. You can access the on-demand webinars that we have available on the ManageBac.com page. You also can access our blog to see or to be aware of any latest updates and new features that are being developed and added to ManageBac, as well as live events that we are working on or planning to have to run for to show to help with any new features or help you navigate ManageBac. You can find the website to register for any live events, as well as access our magazine, which you can find on the Faria Edu website to access the magazine and newsletters available. Okay, these are most of the additional resources that will help you keep up to date with everything going on in ManageBac. Okay. So thank you for joining this webinar today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. And yeah, we'll send you the recording in 24 hours so you can watch it again as needed. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at webinars@fariaedu.com. And you can also tweet us for ManageBac at ManageBac. Okay. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you.